The credit card game has changed dramatically over the past few months, and I think we need to talk about it. Specifically, what I want to focus on in this video is how the premium travel credit card market has essentially evolved or even disappeared altogether. What we used to call a premium travel card really doesn't exist anymore, not in the way that it used to anyway. And what we have now is something entirely different. It's a premium lifestyle card market instead. This is a big shift, a shift that not a lot of people are talking about yet, but one that affects a huge number of us credit card enthusiasts, especially those who used to see premium travel credit cards as a reliable source of value. I'm going to fully explain what I'm talking about because you might be thinking Chase has lost his mind, but trust me, I think I have some good points somewhere in here, hopefully. When people think of premium travel credit cards, two names usually come to mind: the Amex Platinum and the Chase Sapphire Reserve. They earned that reputation by being packed with travel perks, Centurion lounges, priority pass access, global entry credits, elite hotel status, and more. For a long time, they really were the ultimate travel tools. But here's the catch. While they still carry that premium branding, what they've evolved into today looks very different from the pure travel focus that they once had. Both the Platinum and the Reserve have shifted over time, but especially since their respective recent refreshes. While they still have travel perks, they're now loaded with lifestyle extras, streaming subscriptions, shopping credits, fitness memberships, and they both came with increased annual fees. Depending on who you are, that might sound amazing. You might have loved these refreshes. Or it might feel like fluff that actually doesn't really fit your life. I like to compare it how there is a bigger gap now with the upper class and middle class, in the economy, blah, 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 blah. We are kind of seeing the same thing here in the credit card world. The premium cards keep getting more expensive, and there is a bigger gap between them and the entry to even the mid-level cards with lower annual fees. Either way, these cards aren't just about travel anymore. They're about lifestyle. And for a lot of people, that shift makes them harder to justify as true travel credit cards. Let me be clear, these cards are still geared towards travelers. If you never set foot in an airport, you shouldn't even consider having a Amex Platinum or a Chase Sapphire Reserve. But here's the problem. What used to be clean, straightforward travel perks have now been diluted with lifestyle fluff that doesn't always translate into real value. Today, you've got 7 main travel perks: lounge access, hotel credits, airline fee credits, clear, global entry or TSA pre-check, rent-a-car and hotel statuses, and Uber credits. Though honestly, that one could just as easily fall into the lifestyle credits. But on the flip side, we also have 7 lifestyle perks: Resi Dining, Uber One, entertainment credits, Lululemon, Walmart Plus, Equinox, Saks, and even an Oura Ring credit. So now the card is essentially split between 50-50 lifestyle and travel benefits and perks and credits. Compare that to the older Amex Platinum, which had the same 7 travel perks, but only 4 lifestyle perks. The same story plays out with the Chase Sapphire Reserve. Today, it's 5 travel perks and 5 lifestyle perks. But in the past, it was 4 travel perks and just 2 lifestyle benefits. That shift tells you everything. These aren't just purely travel cards anymore. If I had to name the last premium travel cards that haven't been overtaken by lifestyle fluff, I'd say that there are only 2 of them: the Capital One Venture X and the Citi Strata Elite, which just launched recently. These are the only 2 really generic travel premium credit cards that we have on the market right now, in my opinion. The Venture X at $395 is keeping it clean and simple. They have a $300 travel credit through their portal, anniversary points, lounge access, 10x on hotels and rental cars, 5x on flights, and global entry. It's travel focused without the lifestyle clutter. The other contender for a genuine premium travel card is the Citi Strata Elite. It comes with a steep $595 annual fee with lots of travel perks. You have hotel credits, a priority pass membership, 4 Admirals Club lounge passes for American Airlines lounges, Black Lane chauffeur credits, and global entry and TSA pre-check reimbursements. You even have a semi-flexible splurge credit that can be used on American airline purchases, so I'll also count that as a travel credit. So yeah, my hot take is that the Venture X and Strata Elites are the only 2 premium travel cards that we have right now. The Platinum and Reserve are now in another tier called Premium Lifestyle cards. So where does that leave the rest of us? If only 2 premium cards are still worth calling travel cards, what's the better play for everyone else or everyone looking for a travel credit card? Well, I want to shine the light on the fact that you could get most of the travel perks without paying premium prices. Take the US Bank Altitude Connect as an example. This card has no annual fee, yet it gives you 4 Priority Pass lounge visits every year, global entry or TSA pre-check reimbursement, and no foreign transaction fees. For a lot of casual travelers, that's all you really need. Or look at the Capital One Venture with a $95 annual fee. It earns 2 miles on everything, gives you global entry, and unlocks transfer partners with Capital One so you can book flights with points. And then you add in cards like the Chase Sapphire Preferred, Amex Green, Citi Strata Premier, or the Built Mastercard, and suddenly you've got a setup that covers flights, hotels, lounge visits, and travel/purchase protections, all without shelling out $700 or $800 a year, especially just on one credit card. For some people, it would actually be more beneficial to have 3 or 4 of these focused travel credit cards as opposed to just one bloated premium lifestyle card. Okay, there's one premium travel perk in particular that I think deserves its own discussion because it's always pitched as a huge selling point on every premium card, and that's lounge access. Airport lounge access is one of those perks that credit card companies love to sell as exclusive. But let me tell you my personal experience with lounges. I've said this before, but lounge access really isn't as valuable as people make it out to be. I have the Amex Platinum, which gives me access to a ton of lounges worldwide, and yes, I've been in plenty of them. But I've also tried and failed to get into a bunch of these lounges because they were either overcrowded or just too much of a hassle. For example, the Centurion lounges at LAX and Las Vegas were absolute chaos the times that I tried getting into them. In my experience, lounges are only truly useful in 2 scenarios. When you have a long layover and you need a place to grab a meal, shower, or just relax for a couple of hours, or when your flight gets delayed or canceled and you don't want to sit at the gates or just wander around the airport. Outside of that, I rarely use them. Although for those long layovers, they have come in handy when I did have to stay in the airport for hours. For example, the Delta Sky Club in Seattle, that's amazing. And it was so refreshing to get a quick shower over there. I will admit that I hold this stance on lounge access because I usually travel alone or with just one other person. We like to sleep in or spend more time in the city and then go straight from check-in to the gates and then eventually board the plane. If you're someone who travels with family or you just like getting to the airport early and settling in, then lounge access might hold a lot more value for you. The other issue though is that convenience is a problem with lounges. Unless I'm flying Delta and can easily hit a Delta Sky Club in my terminal, most lounges I have access to are across the airport. I don't want to walk 20 minutes there, sit for 20 minutes, and then walk 20 minutes back, especially if the lounge is overcrowded when I finally arrive, or sometimes I have to wait for 20 minutes and it's just not worth it. And that's why sometimes it's easier for me to just sit at a bar or restaurant by my gate and suck up that $15 cold turkey and ham sandwich instead of dealing with the whole lounge process. Another reason why I don't personally put a ton of value on lounge access from credit cards is that if you're booking business or first class flights, your ticket already gets you into those airlines' lounges. And no, I'm not paying cash for those premium cabins. I'm using points, so that's something that you guys could do and have access to as well. And honestly, those business class and first class lounges are way better than the ones you'd get from a credit card for free anyway. I've had far better experiences in business class lounges, both domestically and overseas, than in crowded Centurion lounges or Priority Pass spots. So if you're already using points to fly in premium cabins, the lounge perk is basically built in. You don't need to pay $700 a year for a card just to double up on something that you already have. And the great thing is you also don't need premium credit cards to get points to use for those business class or first class flights. You could get points with no annual fee or lower annual fee credit cards and use those for those redemptions. That's just my personal preference, but from my travel history, lounges aren't worth the hype most of the time. That's why if you are like me, you probably don't need a premium lifestyle card just to give you lounge access. But here's a real question. If lounge access isn't worth all the hype and travel perks keep getting watered down, What exactly are we paying $800 to now $900 a year for? Well, with today's premium cards, the answer looks a lot more like a coupon book than a travel card. That brings me to what we all know as the coupon book problem of today's premium credit card world. Instead of just giving us strong, straightforward travel perks, they drown us in a pile of random lifestyle credits that most people either forget to use or don't even want in the first place. At this point, Amex and Chase are just full sending the strategy of bumping the annual fee and throwing a bunch of lifestyle perks that no one really asked for, just so they could justify that increased price tag. Once again, they're no longer designed around travel. They're designed around lifestyle. At this point, it's clear that premium cards like those aren't what they used to be. But that doesn't mean you can't win the credit card game anymore. It just means you have to shift your strategy towards the cards that actually make sense for you and the way that you live and travel. And sometimes now that's not going to be the Amex Platinum or the Chase Sapphire Reserve. I think people who are getting priced out of cards like those have a smarter play or another option to do now. It's time to slim things down. Cut out those expensive premium cards that feel more like coupon books than travel tools, and instead build a setup around cards that give you clear and repeatable value. No more trying to chase hundreds of dollars of value just to make up your annual fee. We could still get great value from cards that cost much less. And the first step is to decide what you actually want out of your cards. Is it free travel, or do you just want straight cash back? If it's travel, you don't need to pay the $700 a year anymore to get those benefits. Mid-tier options like the Sapphire Preferred, Amex Green, Citi Strata Premier, and other cards I mentioned earlier give you strong multipliers, transfer partners, and real travel flexibility at a fraction of the cost. Then from there, you could think kind of like an a la carte mentality. Like if you want hotel status, pick up a Hilton or a Marriott card or even a Hyatt card that gives it to you directly. And for Hilton, for example, the Hilton Aspire automatically gives you diamond status. That's the highest tier, and you get it on day one. You don't need to stay 60 nights or hit a certain spend just to earn it. If that's too much, then the Hilton Surpass is more affordable and still gives you gold status, which means free breakfast and space available upgrades. On the Marriott side, the Bevy, Bountiful, and Ritz-Carlton cards give you gold status, while the Bonvoy Brilliant gives you platinum. These hotel cards also come with sign-up bonuses that you could then use to pay for stays. So who needs hotel credits from premium lifestyle cards that have to be used on select expensive hotel properties when you could just use that hotel's specific credit card or specific points to book whatever hotel you want? And then that brings us to airline cards. Airline credit cards also have sign-up bonuses and certain travel perks with that airline, so you could still get free flights through them as well. So no more needing a flight or travel credits from an expensive annual fee card. And you want to know a low-key tip about hotels? Well, Visa has their own collection of luxury hotels and benefits, much like Amex's Fine Hotels and Resorts and Chase's The Edit collections. Except the best part is you don't need premium cards to get access to these perks. First of all, by booking a hotel through Visa Signature's luxury collection, you get benefits such as best available rates guarantee, automatic room upgrade upon arrival when available, complimentary in-room Wi-Fi when available, complimentary breakfast for two, a $25 food or beverage credit, VIP guest status, which honestly I don't know what that does, and then you have late checkout upon request when available. All you need to do to unlock these benefits is to have a Visa Signature card, which you could check by looking at your card and see if it says Visa Signature on the bottom right. Cards that are eligible are the Chase Sapphire Preferred, Ink Business Cash, and the Ink Business Unlimited. Then with Mastercard, you also have a very similar benefits. Through their luxury hotel program, you'll receive a bunch of different stuff, which you could see here. It's pretty similar to what you get with Visa. And eligible credit cards are any World Elite Mastercards, which have a gray and a light gray logo, like this one, instead of the normal red and orange logo that you might be used to for Mastercard. Some examples of those cards are the Built card and the Citi Strata Premier. What I'd love to see is for Chase and Amex to introduce a true mid-tier travel credit card again. The truth is, they probably won't because it would cut into their premium card sales, but honestly, keeping customers in the ecosystem might be better than watching them leave and jump ship to Capital One or Citi or someone else. Right now, cards like the Venture X are just eating up because they deliver exactly what us travelers want without all of the extra lifestyle stuff. So to wrap this all up, the reality is that premium travel card market that we are used to or that we were used to just doesn't exist anymore. Cards like the Amex Platinum and Chase Sapphire Reserve have crossed over into premium lifestyle territory, which is packed with credits and perks that only make sense if you're living a very specific kind of lifestyle. But that doesn't mean the game is over. It just means we have to adapt, whether that's leaning on mid-tier travel cards or mixing in some no annual fee options or going a la carte with hotel and airline cards. There are still plenty of ways to get thousands of dollars in value without paying nearly $1,000 a year in annual fees. As a matter of fact, I go over the best travel credit cards here in this video, so if you want to watch that, I'll see you over there. Other than that, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Shoots.